New York City Mayor Eric Adams has declared a state of emergency to help respond to the city's migrant crisis, some of which is being fueled by the governor of Texas busing asylum seekers north. Yet now, some migrants are heading to Florida from other parts of the country to help with the cleanup from Hurricane Ian. Our Paula Sandoval has more.
There's going to be far more work than workers here for 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 years.
All you have to do is walk down these streets.
All you have to do is walk down these streets and look at it.
Saket Soni leads Resilience Force, a national nonprofit advocating for workers who descend on disaster-stricken communities, helping fill demand for essential cleanup and recovery jobs.
Yes, they're earning money and sending it home to their families, but the cost of doing this work is enormous. There's costs to their health, costs to their safety.
Soni says a significant chunk of that workforce are migrants. Many, though not all, are undocumented. And that's the irony here.
We are not a sanctuary state.
In the wake of Hurricane Ian, migrants are flocking to Florida just weeks after its governor flew willing asylum seekers from Texas to Martha's Vineyard in an effort to score political points.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of folks that come across. Where do they want to end up? A lot want to come to, because everyone wants to come to Florida. And so we've worked on innovative ways to be able to protect the state of Florida from the impact of Biden's border policies.
Governor DeSantis needs these workers. He needs these immigrant workers. He is now presiding over a recovery. He is also aspiring to higher office and will be evaluated on how he leads this recovery. And the one thing he cannot do without is workers.
As Hurricane Ian made its way through Florida, this group of Venezuelan men made the trip there from states where their immigration proceedings are playing out. Among them, Grisman. We first met the young Venezuelan father this summer. He and his family were among the thousands of migrants who found themselves on buses to New York City from Texas after making a long and treacherous 2-month, 10-country trek. When he heard there were opportunities to earn money in the cleanup effort, he spent some of the little he has to make his way back down south. He sends video dispatches back to New York, where his family waits for his return. Just like I'm starting from zero, says Grisman, many of the people here are doing the same. I came here happy to help, says Grisman. It's impossible to know exactly how many migrants like him may be working off the books as part of relief efforts in Florida.
I know I'm going to have a brief...
DeSantis changed the subject when asked by CNN specifically about laborers like Grisman.
There are Venezuelan immigrants, asylum seekers in New York that are being reportedly recruited to come to the state of Florida and work on the hurricane recovery. I'm wondering what your response is to those reports and whether you would turn them away.
So, first of all, our program that we did is a voluntary relocation program.
Florida, not the first state to see this transitory migrant workforce after natural disasters. Johnny Arburto says he has offered his services throughout the country since Katrina. The Nicaraguan father, who now lives in Louisiana, says he doesn't do it for the money, but to help bring relief to people. Johnny says that despite the politics at play on the ground, he's proud to be among the migrants helping Florida rebuild.
I mean, look at that house and that one. This street alone is 3 months of work just to get this street, this one city block, back up and standing. There's enough work for immigrants and the locals.
And you can expect migrant workers to continue to be drawn to the state of Florida with promises of weeks-long cleanup gigs. Migrant advocates here in New York City telling me, Fred, that they are actively recruiting. And of course, these offers, they're very difficult to pass up for the roughly 17,000 migrants that have arrived here in New York City alone as asylum seekers. That's because they have this opportunity to essentially support their families, like the gentleman that you just heard from. And their work authorization requests, many of them are still stuck in this massive backlog. So you can see why many of them are choosing to either drive or fly to Florida to carry out this kind of work. But it certainly comes with physical and with legal risks, Fred. And that's why nonprofits here in New York are making sure that migrants are aware that if they do take up these job opportunities, that they remember that they still have rights, even if they're working off the books.